Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this live stream. I hope everybody's really doing well. So, guys, first of all, 8th of April have passed. The eclipse have gone, and the plan was that, as I mentioned, we will be roughly bottoming between 5th of April to 5th of April to 8th of April, and that's exactly. We literally bottomed before 5th of April, which is like a little bit surprising to me. We literally bottomed around 2nd of April and never got a dip to 65.5 or maybe even $62,000. That's a little bit surprise, honestly speaking. So now what? Honestly, what I'm seeing so far is, well, whatever I have seen from Eclipse perspective, whenever we have seen a very nice move on an upside, on pre-number lunar eclipse, normally the dips will be bought very quickly and it is going to get followed. So basically we are here almost, in my view, if you remember, I'm just trying to see what exactly the price is trying to tell us. So you see here, we in 2020 we got a higher highs, then we declined before an solar eclipse, and then after solar eclipse, we even before solar eclipse started reversing, and after solar eclipse we just went moon. So if that theory is still valid, and I feel it's valid, because there is still a good chance in my view that we are bullish, and from the price action perspective as well, I feel that we are bullish looking to the structure over here. So I think the dips are for buying. We have flipped 69,100 on weekly. We have flipped 69,100 on monthly. If you look at the weekly, this weekly is one of the best weekly, and I can literally correlate this weekly with the weekly we have seen in 2020 before a breakout and making new highs. So just imagine this was our previous weekly closure. Look at the two dojis over here with a perfect irregular expanded flat, as you can see here in 2020, right there actually. So that is sort of a vibe I'm getting over here as well on Bitcoin. So practically, if you look at here on the weekly time frame, a very similar sort of a dojis are forming here. And the good part about it is this, we never closed this doji under 67,238, which makes it a little bit more bullish, and honestly there is no reason to be bearish at this point. The dips are for buying. Now looking to the alternatives, lot of from Elliot perspective, we still have slightest different alternatives over here. There might be some fuck ups in between, but we're good. So what sort of alternatives do we have here? Now looking to this whole structure, there is a possibility that we might be forming a nice interesting range sort of a play. So what does that mean? It means that we might be doing a very interesting irregular expanded flat. Why? Because we got a move on the downside with ABC over here. As you can see, that was your wave A over here. We got an irregular flat for wave B, like a triangle you can say as well, and then you got a wave C as well over here. So that was your wave C, correct? And afterwards you got a nice impulsive move for maybe like, let's say wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, but that doesn't suit to me actually. So what it fits to me is this upside we go, more likely in my view is more of an ABC rather than some sort of a 5 waves. But let's say this is some sort of a ABC for now. And in fact, the move on the downside also seems to me like ABC at this point, meaning that the move that we're getting might be a some sort of a fake out, meaning this is how we have a range highs over here. I'm just going to make it a range, and we're going to play a range from the highs, or maybe we can just probably, yeah, I think we'll just play a range from these highs till now. So just try and understand where people are accumulated a lot. People have accumulated a lot at 67,800, basically an equilibrium of this range. So once an equilibrium flipped, people started accumulating heavily. They were like, we are going to pump up, and they were correct actually. They were correct in all sense. So practically your equilibrium is your biggest support at this point. So what might be, you know, an important thing over here is, what if this move is another some sort of a WX and maybe a B, and this move is like a 5 waves on an upside. We pump it back up to 75,835 and so, and maybe come back down, retest the 66,000 and do an irregular or running flat. Not necessarily we need to sweep the 60k now, not necessarily. We might do, we might not do as well. So there are two possibilities over here. Either I'm looking for, you know, a very interesting, you know, a running flat scenario or irregular expanded flat. So a running flat scenario with something like this, you know, we will be just probably be sweeping this lows, not sweeping this, and running back turbo to 85, 88,000, maybe 100k. So that's like a running flat scenario. Or we go for a totally irregular expanded flat, which is going to be somewhere like this, which is a possibility as well. I'm not denying the fact, but this is a possibility, and we might just retest the daily like this. Now this is a very interesting scenario we need to keep eyes on, and there's a very likelihood of a possibility of this thing. Now what are the most bullish case scenarios? So these are the two, you know, a little bit sideways move scenarios. These are not a bearish case, these are the sideways. So just understand that we will be ranging a little bit, you know, there's going to be a range actually. So this is the range highs, that's your range lows over here. Okay, so we are just going to range probably, and we might even form a very interesting ascending triangle as well. Why? Because we are seeing a very interesting ABC scenario. So what if this move is also some sort of a, this is some sort of a B over here, and now we are seeing 5 waves, 1 2 3 4, one more push up like a double top, or maybe swing filler pattern up to 74,000 and come back down stronger towards 702, 786. Okay, which is roughly you know, going to be around the levels of here 64,000 to 62,400. We are not going anywhere under $62,500 if this scenario is a valid one with an ascending triangle. So what's going to be like, you know, we are talking about two possible scenarios: irregular expanded flat and running flat. Both the scenarios are here. Okay, I'm just going to delete both the scenarios for now. So just remember these two other two, you know, slight bear case scenario, but overall bullish, because which also indicates that the next move after this retracement is going to be up only, and it's going to be like, you know, more compression leads to a better and aggressive expansion. The more the price gets compressed, you know, the more aggressive the expansion would be. You know, it's what it means at that point of time. So this can be a very interesting triangle actually. It's really too early to say whether this ascending triangle is going to form over here, because it's too complex triangle, and you know, a lot of people say that we already broke out of the triangle, but what I feel is we have to ask ourselves whether this was a perfect triangle. No. Why? Because a triangle needs to have at least A, B, C, D, E formation actually. So I probably think that we might just most likely going to chop a bit, accumulate a little bit, and then run back turbo. So that's what I believe, and the scenarios I'm watching. Now, the most interesting scenario that we have is, you know, the triangle scenario. As I mentioned, we did not went to 62,500 as we wanted, and straight away we are going back up, as I mentioned. So this is going to be like a triangle scenario, pumping back up, as I mentioned, to 76,000, 78,000 bucks. Might just miss a little bit, but somewhere around this would be the target. So this triangle scenario, for now, this is like invalidate because the triangle did not literally went it. But now let's move on to the bullish and bearish case. So the bullish case scenario, as I mentioned, you know, this is going to be our bull case scenario, which is likely in play actually. So the bull case scenario did not got invalidated. It's valid. So practically we are likely going for as I mentioned, running flat or irregular expanded flat. The bear case scenario at this point is invalidated. So we're just going to delete this bear case scenario as well. So now the most important thing is we only have bullish case. We don't have any bearish case, you know. So practically, let's move on to the more aggressive, I would say, bear case. In case, I mean, as a trader, you need to understand. As a trader, you need to look picture on, or you need to flip the coin and see what are the other sides of the coin. So we have the bull case. We are bullish. The dips are for buying. We are buying the dips on 69.1. I think we will be getting the dips today or maybe like tomorrow, maybe today evening, 69.1 is going to hold in my view, and I'm expecting a bounce from there to 75,000, maybe even $77,000. And the most bullish case scenario I'm going to show you right now, not irregular expanded flat, not running flat, no flats, it's just up only. I'm going to show you, which is perfectly fitting with the historical 2020 bull case scenario as well. If you look at the schematic is, I would say, would have been more valid one if it would have played actually, but unfortunately it did not play. So what I have to say now is we need to understand whether at what levels are we at this point, whether this is like an ST, this is like what if this move is is done, what if this is stopped, what if this is ABC over here, the ABC is done, and what if this is done and this is like another ST. This is going to be a bear case scenario. If this is the bear case, then which means that we now should not be going above the or sweeping up the highs practically. That's the bear case scenario. We should not be sweeping up the highs now. So practically it means that everything would be I'm just going to delete this. Practically it would mean that we need to have a new bear case path. So practically, let's say if this is like an ABC scenario, which means that, hold on, here, which means this was your BC, this was your AR over here, this is like an ST over here, the top is in, let's say it's topped out, we go for a SO in phase B, which is like a sweep of the lows, we go for a UT accumulation, like this, and then we further run it back up turbo to 85,000 bucks. So this is going to be the scenario then. So this is still a valid one. This is going to invalidate, this whole thing going to get invalidated once we start sweeping the highs, the previous highs. Practically it goes anywhere above 74,000, the whole bear case scenario gets invalidated, which means that every dips you get it's just for buying. There is no more bear scenario you will be able to get it. So practically this is going to be the most bearish case, and this is going to be like a distributive top, meaning that if this schematic plays out, okay ladies and gentlemen, if this schematic plays out, means that the target for Bitcoin after 82,000 would be like 2023 highs of 45k. That's like a bigger distribution that's gonna get it. But for that to play out, we really need to dump from here towards 59,250, maybe even $59,000. We need to dump towards those levels and let that pump it back up to $84,000. So that's how it needs to go up. Okay. So that's like a first schematic that we have. Looking to the bearish case for schematic 2. So the bearish case scenario for a schematic 2 is literally valid as well. Now, even that bear case scenario for a schematic 2 is going to be valid, as I mentioned, until Bitcoin stays under the highs. Practically this highs, the range highs of, what is the range highs value? 73,811. Practically the previous all-time highs, like here. So if this has to play out, this is how it should play out. This is like your AR. This is like your ST. The top is in. We need to dump down to SO in phase B. We pump it back up to 78,000, 80,000. We chop. We retest, and we dump like this to $45,000. That's how it should then probably do actually. So that's going to be like your second bear case scenario. Apart from this, I really don't have any bear case scenario on the lower term time frame. On the higher term time frame, as you guys know about it, we still have that bigger bearish case scenario. As you guys know about it, I've already discussed it previously. So the most bullish case scenario over here at this point is that this is not ABC, not running flat, not sort of a triangle. This is some sort of a, not ABC, but this is like very interesting, some sort of a wave 1 over here. That's going to be our wave 2 over here. This is like another wave 1, wave 2 over here. And right now we are starting wave 3. So practically that's like a 1-2-1-2 case. And we are going to go for 85,000, and later we're going to pump to 100k. So this is how it should go then, which means that this is your wave 1 of 3, This is your wave 1 of 3. This was your wave 2 of 3. Right now, this is going to be your wave 3 of 3, 4 of 3, 5 of 3, pumping back to 89, 90k. A small dump, but it's not going to dump under the intermediate wave 4. That's going to be like a big wave 4, and we pump it back up to 100k actually. So that's how it's going to go. That's the most bullish case scenario we have. Now, if you are on sidelines, I've given the limit. 69.1 is where you should be buying. The invalidation itself is going to be 69.1. Okay, that's how your invalidation levels would be. Guys, I'm coming back in like 2 minutes. Please hold on. I just got some urgent call from a developer. I need to take it. If I don't take it, he will not be available for like few days, and I won't be able to finish my screener for you guys, which I'm going to do live by end of this April. So just give me 2 minutes, guys. I'm coming. Please stay here. So, yeah, guys, I'm back now, and thank you so much for waiting. So, basically, I think the most important part about is this is the bullish chart that we have on Bitcoin, and there are two possibilities as I mentioned. We have bullish count on Bitcoin, and we do have a bearish count on the Bitcoin. Now, before we, for those of you guys who have least recently joined right now on the live stream, you should be just watching this live stream from the beginning. Just watch it once so that you actually know what plans we have for Bitcoin. So this is like the plan that we have for Bitcoin. Now the high-term time frame plans that we have for Bitcoin is like on the weekly time frame. If you just look at here, just imagine, just look at the Bitcoin weekly time frame. So I'm just going to make it a logarithmic chart, guys, so that we know. The volume is not that good, but just try and imagine now. So try and understand over here. You need to understand a very important concept, which is known as like a premium zone and discount zone. Okay, so let's try and understand what is premium zone and discount zone. So currently Bitcoin is in a premium zone actually. So this is your premium zone right now. Okay, that's going to be your premium zone. Yep. So currently Bitcoin is under premium zone at this point. So right now we are in the premium zone. The good part about this premium zone is that we have flipped the previous all-time highs, which is really, really bullish. And 69.1 to 69,000 is now your strong support. So if you really want to long it, you can long. 69.1 is your invalidation. Any closure under 69.1 on 4 hours time frame, 2 consecutive close and collapse. You just get out of it and try re-longing only at 69.4. Okay, that is the easiest way to play. Our plan for Bitcoin, we still have the two scenarios played on the high-term time frame. This is our bull case scenario that I mentioned a few days back as well. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. This is my primary scenario for Bitcoin, which is practically taking Bitcoin to $402,946 to $445,000. That is going to be a target for Bitcoin. And the bullish case scenario for Bitcoin, which is like very ultra bull, guys. And I'm very, very bullish on it. But nevertheless, as a trader, you should also be wary of various scenarios. And I also have a bear case scenario. This is the bear case scenario, which is a very, very valid one, guys. And honestly speaking, the green box is going to like a sell-off zone, and it should not go beyond, it should not go beyond $128,000, even if we are bullish. So even if you're bullish, the B wave can go to $128,000 max, and from there we started dumping back down to 19,000, maybe even sweeping the lows, taking lows towards $14,000 as well. It all depends. But this is going to be our bear case scenario, and after which probably a little bit more accumulation for like 2025, 2026, a year of accumulation, and then probably we start another bull run, towards $485,000. That is going to be my ultimate target for Bitcoin, like $500,000 for Bitcoin. That's what my target for Bitcoin. So basically, these are the bull and bear case scenario that we have. Now we also have a week of accumulation scenario as well over here, which perfectly aligns with our bull case scenario. Which perfectly aligns with the bear case scenario. That we literally dump down to 18,000, 19,000 bucks, fill the CME gap over there, and pump it back up to 300,000, maybe even 400,000 as well. Depends on how big the big the breakout would be. So practically, that's like the little bit added more. I would say confirmations. Talking about the USD dominance, guys, USD dominance in my view is forming a very interesting triangle over here. Now, this triangle is not completed yet, but what I can see so far is that we are likely doing an ABC scenario, meaning that we might be, just over here. I mean, it's a very early to say at this point, but I'm sensing that we are seeing some sort of a very interesting triangle, which means that there is a very nice M pattern formation is a possibility. And this is how I think I'm seeing this scenario whole thing. So look at this. So this is how I see the USD DOM playing out. Now, I would have been very vocal about it with this triangle or a pennant. So this is like a pennant at this point for a USD DOM. Okay. Yep. So we are right now compressing. There are two possibilities with this USD DOM at this point. Now, my target for a wave 4 is definitely 5%, and which is going to happen, whether you like it or not, but that is happening. The only question is from where it's going to happen. So that's the only question we need to ask ourselves. So I think there are two possibilities. Still we are under 4.24%. There's a possibility we dump down to like a double bottom sort of thing, forming an M pattern, M, and then running back up to, pumping back up to, 5% and maybe even 5.1%. So that's like an M pattern formation. And if you just look at from the perspective of, the harmonics, let's go back to 12 hours. I just want to see whether the harmonic is a valid one or not. I think it's not a valid one actually. Let's just try to check it once whether the harmonic is a valid one or not a valid one. No. That's not a valid one. 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 That's not a valid one actually. So we need to look for an alternative. We need to look for an alternative case scenarios, and I do think at this point, this sort of a triangle is a valid one, but the harmonic is not valid. We don't have any more, I would say, confluences to be honest with you. So I don't have more confluences for like pumping USD dominance towards 5%, but yes, the structure wise it's clear actually, because if you look at the daily time frame, what you will see over here is that RSI on the daily over here is like trying to flip back above RSI based MA, and once that happens, guys, I would say just get the fuck out of the market actually. So because flipping the 50 is going to literally send RSI above 70 and maybe even 80, so that's going to trigger a very interesting pump up on USD DOM. So whatever you're longing, just your invalidation for BTC would be 69.1 to 69,000. Any close under 69k, you literally exit the old market. Whatever else you look great, don't touch it till USD dominance cools off, because that's going to literally wreck you. Now, as coming back to my point that solar eclipse is bullish. Solar eclipse is bullish. But if you see, 70% of the times we have seen in the past, the solar eclipse, it has played bullish. But then we never got our perfect retest of 62,000 to 60,000. So I feel in case if, US BTC loses 69k, we might just go there and probably trigger, the liquidations under 59k, and we run back turbo to $80,000. So that is going to be a very good opportunity in my view. Do not expect Bitcoin at 40,000, 45,000, or $50,000. It's not going to happen. Do not expect Bitcoin at $56,000. It's not going to happen. So forget about 55,000, forget about 56,000, even forget about $57,000 in my view. So you should not be even thinking about those levels. You should be just looking to play the levels for the USD DOM. The next big levels for USD DOM is 5.24%. Anything at 5.24%, we are bullish. Okay, we are damn bullish. So practically, this is what I have for the USD DOM on the hard and time frame. Looking to the weekly over here, weekly is still trying to be bullish, and just imagine weekly we just got a rejection from RSI based MA. If we are getting that rejection again, just imagine, this is like a very clean support, RSI support that you have over here. This is like a support, and we are just rejecting like a support, just chopping a bit actually. But you need to understand that what might happen is that USD dominance make lower lows, RSI on the weekly don't make lower lows, bullish divergence happens, we try to flip this, and once you flip it, it's going to pump up back to 51%. And weekly candles are very bullish. That's going to be like a very interesting deviation, and then we're going to go run a back turbo like this, in my view, towards 80%. That's how, in my view, the weekly RSI is going to play out. So I think those who are expecting Bitcoin from here to 100k, the obvious thing for 100k is going to be you need to lose 3.64% of USD DOM, which I feel is not going to happen. We are going to hold 3.64% like solid support. So I feel the pump is expected, 78,000, 80,000 is expected. 100k would be very simply, in my view, it's not acceptable at this point. In my view, we need a little bit more liquidity. we need a little bit more liquidity above. So when it pumps up, we need a more liquidity. We have like a double top over here, huge liquidity, equal highs you can say, and you know, we got a move on the downside with like ABC move, a move on the upside with another ABC, and now we are going down with another AB, and now we are going to see. So practically in my view, I think the LTF USD dominance is bearish. However, a dump from 5.24%, so practically 4.24% till 3.86% is expected. So practically you can say that we are going to dump USD dominance, meaning the market is going to pump. So just fill your bags on Bitcoin. Any retest of 69.2 to 69.1, you should be just longing the Bitcoins and whatever the coins you want to long it. Especially I like Solana, I like, you know, Aave, I like Avex, I like you know, a few other alts actually, but I would say don't go all in everything. Just have a little bit pieces, you know, or maybe you can just put like in 2 coins that have strong you know, charts actually. So we got in Sol as well, and it completely filled. I'll just go back on the chart of Sol. I'm just going to discuss what exactly I feel about the Sol. So I think, you know, this is the plan for a USD DOM, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it is clear. If you have any queries on USD DOM plan, do ping me on the Discord. I'll explain you, you know, again actually. So this is what I'm expecting for USD DOM. Remember, if USD dominance flip 4.24%, just get the fuck out of everything. Exit the market because you have a triple top over here, like a triple top, meaning exit the market. Once it flips, there's going to be like a perfect PO3 over here, and we are just going to run back turbo to 4.5 and maybe even to 5% level. So anything over 4.24%, a single 4-hour candle close, even I would say exit the market and wait for it to just reject. That's what I would say. Whatever else you got into, a flip over 4.24%, simply exit the market. That's all. Okay? So your RR is very good. Risk reward is good. For those who don't know about risk reward means if you're risking on a trade for like $1, which means that you are expecting a multiple of $1 in return. So if I'm risking $1 in this trade on BTC at 69.2 with an invalidation of 69.1, so my target is going to be 75K, which means that I'm expecting 25 times more gains versus the risk I'm, you know, the amount I'm going to risk practically. So that's what the risk reward is. Talking about a few of the alts, Ethereum, same plan on ETH as well on the hard term time frame. I feel that, you know, ETH is also doing a very nasty irregular expanded flat in my view. It's a very clean actually, very clean. ETH is very clean actually. I would not be suggesting you guys to long ETH because this is a clear case of A, B, and C over here, and another very interesting A, B, and a sharp move on the downside with C waves. And now that we got a double bottom over here, which clearly indicates that the move on an upside has to be a 5 waves actually. So this is clean in my view that even if you got a push on an upside for, you know, Ethereum towards 3,800, I do think that this whole structure is bearish. There are 2 possibilities on ETH as well over here. So first possibility in my view is it's already topped. First possibility, the top is in. Okay, the top is in when we start closing under 36,777 for like 12 hours candle, 2 consecutive 12-hour candles, and the top is in my view. That's going to be like a deviation, and daily close under would be a strong sign that it's stopped actually. But if you flip above here, I think one more push up is a possibility, and then we started, you know, maybe doing something like this in my view. That's going to be like ABC, you know, just chopping up and retest the EMA 50 daily, and then, you know, dumping back down to maybe a retest of the trend line towards $3,000. Remember, what did I mention? Once it flips the EMA 50 daily, just long it. For those who longed it, nice. Even if you are playing with the indicators that I have given you, you know, the trend line indicator, perfectly, you know, breakout happened over here with a good volume at 3,350. If you would have took it, you would have made a good gains and pumping back up from 3,350 to 3,744, rejecting perfectly from a support resistance of one rocket over here to 3,750, perfectly rejected from the levels actually. So try and understand, you know, this support resistance algo is very important, and it's very accurate actually. So this is my plan for ETH. ETH is not looking that good in my view. In fact, you know, I think Solana is looking good. Why? Because I'm having this whole scenario of Sol as in like you know, this move in my view is some sort of a, you know, ABC scenario. So I'm expecting it to be doing at least one of the two things. The bear case scenario for Sol is going to be here. Now that's going to be our bear case scenario. Okay. Oh, sorry. So our bear case scenario for Sol is going to be this. This is going to be our fucked up bear scenario, which is the likelihood of it playing out, and it's perfectly valid as well. That's like a cipher. We're talking about a deadly cipher, you know. So practically that's like a bear case scenario. We pump it up to 198 and maybe $200 or 195 as well. From here we hold the levels of 171. We can just probably dump to 171 from here and then run it back turbo towards 198, $200, a bear scenario, and then we start dumping more down to sweep the lows towards $150. Or the bull case scenario is already there. We pump it up back up to 216, make new highs, and touch it and further accumulate there, and then we get a 20% dump from there to 150. There's a two possibility over here. So let's see what it comes up. I think if you're not in Sol, just wait for 171 to $170. So invalidation is under 169.5. So when it's closed under 169.5, you simply accept the loss and close it. That's all you need to do for Solana. Okay. Looking for waves, guys. Oh my God, waves is pumping. Finally. So let it pump. Luckily, we literally canceled my this thing. What do you say? Hedge. I feel that waves is gonna fly. And if you guys are still not having waves, I think you should be having it, because I feel that, you know, a 50% pump on the waves is loading actually. Maybe even more, I'm not sure, but this is a scam coin. And the scam coins normally does really, really good, you know, in the in this sort of a, you know, in this sort of run actually. So let's say, I mean, I'm personally, you know, holding waves actually since 4.1. My average is 4.1. You guys already knows about it, and this is going to be like a very interesting ABC move. So it's just on the daily. Oh my God, what happened? So on the daily time frame, if you see here, I think my mouse is having a little bit problem. The cursor is not stable, but this is what the trend line is. We are already above, you know, daily EMA 100, and now we are trying to flip the daily EMA 50 as well. Once it flips, khalas. Also, we are above, you know, we are trying to, we are above EMA 50 on the weekly time frame, which is good. We have a strong support at 2.9. That's like a strong accumulation. In my view, I think Wave should definitely pump it. If this is like a strong breakout, if this closes above 3.36, I think the game is on. I think, you know, the most interesting part about Waves is once it flips the 4.15, which we started to buy the dips actually, you know, once it flips above here, I think Waves is going to fill the whole wick towards $11 and $12. Practically, this is how RSR went, and that's how Waves is going to go as well. So I'm not saying the Waves is going to go to $100, $60. No, let's be very realistic. The opportunity over here is very simple. So practically, from 3.4 to current price, if it flips 4.14, if you just need to accumulate a little bit more, I think you can literally make at least 250% gains to maybe max, in my view, should go to 325% gains to $14. A worst case scenario, it just keeps on pumping and probably wrecked everyone, wrecked all the shorts, and just go for like a double top. Double top would be around here, like a big range formation. That's going to like $42 actually. That's like a 10x. So that's going to be like a very fucked up scenario, but I'm not predicting that scenario at this point. But let's see. I mean, anything is possible in crypto actually. So from the price action, we have a sharp move on the downside. So I don't know what exactly the wave count would be. So hence, I really don't have the wave count to give you on waves. So I'm just playing the levels. If you don't know the wave counts, best is to just play the levels. But if you just look at the logarithmic chart over here, the logarithmic chart is very, very, very interesting. Look at here, guys. So if you look at the logarithmic chart, it's a very simple and very interesting. You flip 4.15 basically, which means that you open doors till the support that we have, like here. So that's going to be our support of 8.5. So that's what the minimum target. And then you have a huge, huge, huge liquidity above 11.3. So basically it makes it more interesting to pump it up to 11.8, giving us 250 to 300% gains. So practically I think waves is like looking really, really good. I'm just gonna hold, guys. I'm just gonna hold. Let's hold waves actually. Near, I mentioned near as well, that it's holding the EMA 40, EMA H4 200 levels. This was a perfect retest of EMA H4 200 6.12, and I do think that it's a nice breakout. So the breakout has happened. I think near is ready for a nice run up to a minimum target of 8.2. But looking to the structure, I feel that near can give you a retest of probably $7 to 7.03. I'm not sure if it's going to give you, but if it gives you, I think it's a good levels to buy the dips in my view. For near, the invalidation will be $7 itself. So I think that's all what I have for. And let's also watch XRP. So if you're watching XRP, I was having a very interesting PO3 on a hard time frame on XRP. If you just look at the 4 hours time frame over here, you see a very interesting run up on XRP happen. Now, I was expecting XRP to probably run up and gives us a very interesting move on an upside because of an irregular expanded flat. But that irregular expanded flat seemed to be something else actually. I mean, I've never seen such sort of a fucked up scenario, but this is going to be like A, B, C. That's like A, B, and C. So practically that's like a very interesting irregular expanded flat scenario. So I don't expect XRP to give us a nasty move on an upside, but yes, definitely a move towards 68 cents is a very, very high likely in my view. Okay. So I won't be able to check every chart you are asking you guys, but whatever time I have, a limited time, probably I'll just try to check everything else. AI coins are looking great. RNDR in my view, it just missed my buy target, RNDR USDT. If you remember, I've already mentioned it. So it just missed lightly, but it went to my resistance of $10. As I mentioned, a retest is a possibility. I'm expecting ideally 7.9 should be an ideal target for RNDR, and maybe one the just let's check it out what exactly the the previous accumulation zone was. So just check it out. Here we started from here, so this is going to be our accumulation zone. Yep. So I think 7.6 to 7.9 is going to be a good levels for RNDR. That's like a support that we are talking about. Do we have any naked POCs there? Let's check it out as well. No, we don't have a print on the bottom, but we do have a print on the upside practically. So the bottom target would be this. If it comes to these levels, you should not miss it. You should simply buy, in my view. Looking to FET, my plan for FET is still same on the hard time frame. There is no change in the plan, ladies and gentlemen. So I think we just have to patiently wait for FET. Is forming like a very interesting, HTF scenario is forming like a very interesting move on the downside. I feel FET is going to go to 1.9 and maybe even 1.667. So I'm simply going to be very patient. It can have one more push to 3.5, 3.8, but that's fine. Overall, I'm expecting it to reload around this order block that we have around 1.9 to 1.67. That's what I'm aiming for FET as well. INJ, I still have the same plan for INJ. I'm expecting INJ to fill us at 26.3 to 26.2. Practically like a bullish wolf waves on a hard time frame. The only problem over here that I'm facing right now, what if it just front run us? What if there is a possibility here? So I'm not sure. What if it just front run us and probably, don't go that deeper the way we anticipate to go? What if it just, go towards, it dumps up towards $28, just front run us by $1, take all the liquidity to $28, and then reclaim it back, boop, 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 and go up, and go up like this? What if there is a possibility? So I'm just going to have eyes on my perfect levels for INJ. Would be around 26.3 to $25.3. Basically that $1 range is where you should be accumulating INJ actually. So that's what we have for INJ. Okay, talking about the last alt, in my view, a lot of people have been asking about me for AIs, and a lot of people are hyping AI actually. They are saying AI will be $4 trillion market cap, $1 trillion. What the fuck? They guys are on steroids or what? They don't even simply understand the you know, the market dynamics. I mean, we are in the crypto market. We are not in, you know, some stock markets or anything like that. This is not a traditional market. If Bitcoin can't reach $4 trillion market cap, how the fuck AI is going to reach there? Remember, your king, the king of crypto is Bitcoin. And all those altcoins are just the liquidity. And I'm telling you very, very clearly, guys, there are only two possibilities. If anybody is shilling AI, like it's going to reach 100 billion, it's going to reach 200 billion, what base do you have? Do you have any base? Let's talk very, very frankly. Let's talk very practically. In my view, when AI was at $9 billion, I mentioned to each and every one in my community, you guys, as you know it, I mentioned my target for AI is anywhere between 45 billion to 52 billion dollars. That's what happened with the Meta. Facebook merger, lot of shit happened at that point of time. Everybody was like $300 billion. Meta is going to go nuts. NFT is going to go nuts at that point of time. If you remember the hype, that's exactly what's happening right now. Everybody is talking about AI just on the basis of Nvidia, actually, which is so bullshit. Just be practical. You know, remember, every asset goes to its cycle. Every category goes to its cycle. So let me just explain your cycle, actually. So yes, AI can be a 4 trillion market cap. Not now. It will happen in next 10 years probably, but not now. So if you really want to see AI market cap 10 trillion, $4 trillion, talk to me about it. Probably remind me in next 10 years, actually. Not now. Okay? Not now. So just understand the market cycles. Let's say this is what the AI coins did, actually. 1, 2, a nasty run up, 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, a run up like this. Everything is going to come down to the point where it begins. At some point, the next bear market, everything is going to die, actually. And we started accumulating, and a bigger impulsive move is going to happen. So what's going to happen is, just understand. I'm explaining you guys. If this is your primary cycle, wave 1, okay, this wave 2 is going to happen. No matter what, it's going to happen. So if this is 50 billion, the $9 billion will again come, and all the AI coins are going to literally go wrecked left and right. You know, after bigger accumulation, this pump is going to happen. From 9 billion, it's going to pump like $500 billion, maybe even $1 trillion at that point of time, but it needs a little bit more time for an accumulation. Now let me show you a practical example of it. I have requested TradingView to add, you know, AI or categories or NFT coins, you know, sort of the way they have prepared for total DeFi, like this. I've requested them, please add the similar thing for, you know, total AI, total, Meta, so that we know exactly how the assets have moved. So remember, the hype was like this. Just imagine. Now I'm going to explain you exactly what the AI hype is all about. Everybody's talking about AI hype. Yes, we were here, and now we are already here somewhere. This pump is happening. This is somewhere we are here, actually. Somewhere we are here. And then there is going to bear market, a little bit more accumulation that's going to happen. And after that, once we get a bear market, you know, the DeFi pump from 1.8 billion, maybe even I would say the lows of $1 billion, it literally pumped 600x. It went to $600 billion. You see, the bigger bull market happened in 2021. So market needs maturity. Market needs new player. Market needs more and more amount of, you know, investors. Those investors who are, you know, ready to hold their coins, or maybe just probably, you know, more matured enough to, hold their investment for long term. And so like just hyping up without any sort of a base, actually. So I'm sorry. Total DeFi pumped from 1 billion to 155 billion, out of here on 155x. So I think AI is somewhere in just a primary, you know, this is where AI is right now. And the dump is going to happen, guys, whether you like it or not. I literally nailed the top for Meta. I also mentioned Meta is going to top around 40 billion to 45 billion, considering all the coins and their, the unlocked tokens at that point of time, and all sort of calculations that I have. So it literally topped around 48 billion roughly. So and also mentioned that it's going to go under $9 billion, and it went close to $7.5 billion at the bottom, you know, at the peak, I would say a trough of the bear market. So that was like the peak bottom for Meta. I think Meta it can be a good investment in my view, coming, because remember, if like Meta might take another few months or maybe for an accumulation like this, maybe, you know, Meta might take like a little bit of more accumulation. But I feel Meta in some probably next 12 months or so, we might see a big hype on Meta, pumping from like $80 billion to literally more than, you know, giving us another maybe 100x, giving us $800 billion of worth of Meta. So that might probably come actually. So I think this might be a possibility at this point. So I think AI is somewhere around this top. So you need to understand these are all cycles. Yes, I would be accepting my loss. I would be accepting that I would wrong. If it even goes to 100 billion, that's fine. But $1 trillion, $2 trillion, it's all shit actually. There are two possibilities a person is going to tell you this. First, he is getting paid to shill you. Every tweet he does, he's getting paid for it, okay, to just create a hype. Second, he has invested so heavily, he needs a more and more amount of liquidity so that you're going to be the exit liquidity for that person. He is going to sell all his coins, whatever the tops you are going to make it. He's going to sell you. He's going to exit, make money, and it's just going to keep on hyping up. And after some point, he's just going to keep quiet because he has sold everything. Now there is no point in hyping. And then we will just go for another narrative. The next new narrative is going to be deep in. I know a lot of people are curious about it, but the next narrative is going to be deep in. In next few maybe months, deep in is going to, you know, deep in coins. I mean, I don't have any deep in coins at this point. I'm just researching honestly, but deep in is going to be the next new big thing in my view. So that's all about the today's stream, guys. And I'm going on vacation, guys, on 11th of April, and I'll be back on 19th. So I won't be doing any live streams. Also, for those, if you lose an access of your trading view indicators or algorithms, please go to the get access under the Discord and just request an access, so that I'll be running bot today evening, so that you all get an access, guys. Okay, for the next 10 days, Shory is going to kill the market. I'll be just probably try to give you some trades here and there, basically, but I won't be able to do any sort of an analysis because I won't be carrying my laptop at the, it don't make sense actually to carry those important things when we are traveling because of the risk factor that we have. And so that's what I'm just probably try to give some charts based on it. Also, our new screener is almost, I would say, 60% done, and I think that's going to be a big thing for you guys that I'm going to give you free of cost. Won't charge a single penny for this thing, and whatever you guys are paying is I'm just trying to give you back in some form or the other. Also, just going to give you update. Right now we were testing the material of the t-shirt. Okay, the t-shirts. So Arslan, he's helping me with the material testing. I've sent him 2 t-shirts with different materials and different print, and he will be giving me the feedback which print is good and which t-shirt is good. Based on that, his feedback, we will be, I'll be rolling out the final product, and we'll be sending that t-shirts to each and every one of you by end of the April. So whosoever have filled the form, have some patience, and if you're having your membership till now, continuing your membership, definitely you're gonna get your t-shirt. Okay, so that's absolutely free for you guys. So that's all for the today's stream, guys. Have a nice day, and I wish each and every one of you a very happy Eid and a very good year actually. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.